Paul McGuire Grimes, KSTP, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Justin, it's really great talking to you today. I had a lot of fun with the Mosquito Coast. I binged through all 7 episodes. Pretty.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Great.
Yeah.
Hope you liked it.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, it was great. Now, your uncle is Paul Theroux, who wrote the novel that this is based on. How influential was he on you as a writer? And were there ever plans to collaborate this before this?
He does a completely different kind of writing that I can't do, which to me is a magic trick, which is obviously long form novels, which I would never even attempt to write. It sort of came about in a very pedestrian, organic way, which was, you'd think it would be him calling me or me calling him and being like, hey, let's do Mosquito Coast as a TV show at Apple, and that would be amazing. But it wasn't. He had already kind of was working with Fremantle and Apple to get this made. And then it sort of came around to me in the normal channels, just I got a call saying, hey, they're doing Mosquito Coast as a series over at Apple. And I thought, well, that could actually work, and that's a character that I adore, both in the book and in the movie. And I thought I'd like to do that. So I sort of raised my hand, and we set up a meeting with Neil Cross, and yeah, we hit it off.
That is so fascinating, because you would have thought he would have just texted you one day saying, hey, go and seek this out. But
I know you would have expected that, at least. Hey, here's some inside baseball. Apple's going to be getting Mosquito Coast, and you should get there early. Nope. He just left me on the side of the highway on that one.
Now, you were filming this when the pandemic broke out. What went through your head as a producer and actor when you had to shut down production, if you thought you could even pick this back up again? How did you adhere to guidelines when you could get back to work?
I mean, the day that we shot down, we were shooting in one of Mexico City's largest outdoor open markets, within throngs of people. And obviously we were getting the same news that everyone else was in early March, and going we should maybe, huddle on this. And so we shut down. And then, it's just like the rest of the world. We were playing it by ear and hoping we could get back to it. We were sort of dead center in the middle of our season. A little bit north of center, meaning we had shot more than we had left to shoot. And then we just had that long hiatus like everyone else did, where I was here in New York on lockdown. And then once we got back to shooting, it was weirdly wonderful, because when you create this sort of bubble around a production, where everyone's tested every day and God forbid if anyone did get sick, they would be pulled out of the sort of food chain. It worked, it's kind of what I wish our country had done at the very beginning, because we could have, probably saved a lot of lives. I hate to say it. So yeah, and ironically, once we wrapped, I kind of didn't want to go back to New York, because I was in the most beautiful part of Mexico, and B, all of a sudden the safety net of our incredible immunologists and doctors and nurses was gone. So it was, I sort of wanted to stay in the bubble. Yeah.
Well, it's been great talking to you today. I wish I could keep talking to you. Love 6 Feet Under, by the way, my favorite show of all time. That we get more of live from a studio audience, because those were so fun to watch. So
great.
On those too. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. Have a great day.
All right. Talk to you soon, Paul.
Okay. Paul McGuire Grimes, KSTP, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Melissa, it is really great talking to you today. I plowed through all 7 episodes pretty fast, so congrats on such a thrilling show.
Thank you very much. That's great.
Now, each episode really leaves you on a cliffhanger. Did you feel that when reading the scripts?
Oh, absolutely. I read the first script only when the casting process was happening, and I just thought I need to know where the foxes are headed. Very exciting, very well sort of constructed, I would say. And the fact that I knew that The Mosquito Coast was a book and a film, I like the fact that it's actually a prequel to the book and the film. So Neil, the writer, was able to establish a show that was fresh, and think about before the book, what were the foxes doing and why did they decide to cross to the Mosquito Coast from America? And that's the part that's exciting. It's fresh, it's new, it allowed me also to not recreate the character from the book or the film. It allowed Margot to just be her and me to interpret her I was thinking and how I wanted her to be. So, the casting process happens. So.
Yeah. Now, speaking of that idea, who these characters are, how much of the Fox's backstory were you told versus what's in the series versus what you as the actor came up with, like character background work?
Well, look, it all starts out with Rupert. When Rupert Wyatt, the director of the first 2 episodes and the showrunner, or the show creator for the style of the show, he had a very specific idea about the foxes. And Neil, who wrote the script, also has obviously he's been living with the foxes and he writes you these amazing long emails. It's almost like if you have a question, you will get, episode 8, sent to you. Do you know what I mean? It's like he's so articulate with helping you through this journey and any concerns you have. And the rest is in the casting process. For me, a lot of the work is done before I actually put myself on tape for the casting, because if you get the part, half the job is done. You've already shown how you think Margot is, and then the rest is just living inside her.
I love that you shot on location in Mexico, because I feel like that doesn't happen a lot. Are there parts of Mexican culture and cuisine that still stick out to you?
Oh my gosh, it makes me hungry just thinking about it. We were all over Mexico, and each region has such a beautiful delicacy and their cuisine and their artifacts and their crafts and the way they like to have their tequila or not, or their mezcal. It's just such a vast, beautiful, the people are exceptional. Mexico City, if no one's been there, you have to. It's like my friends that travel a lot say it's one of the best cities in the world. I was like, oh really? Like Paris and London and New York? Oh, wait till you go to Mexico City. And it's true. It's got the biggest collection of art. The museums are amazing. The nightlife, the people, it's really something, really, really something. So it's a joy. But yes, it was also quite tough because, every location we went to where the foxes went to, we actually had to go to. So their journey is not easy. And can you imagine putting, 300 crew members inside that vicinity? It was a big production, well executed, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's been great talking to you. I'm very excited for people to see the Mosquito Coast, and I'm hoping, and I can't wait to see what happens in season 2, because there's definitely more to this story.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks, Melissa. I appreciate it. Paul, McGuire, Grimes, KSTP, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Logan, Gabriel, it was really great talking to you. I really enjoyed all 7 episodes of the Mosquito Coast. I binged through it pretty fast, so it's a really thrilling ride. So thank you very much for this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, each episode certainly leaves you on a cliffhanger. Did you guys feel that way when reading the scripts?
100%. I definitely, when we would we'd have like 2 or 3 scripts ahead of what we were shooting, and I would definitely always be Gabriel was my go-to, where I would just send him an audio message of, do you see what we're doing? I'm so scared to do this, because it was almost intimidating to know that was our future, and he would always kind of wait. He's like, I'm going to wait until we're shooting it. And I think that was a good on his part, because it's crazy some of the turns we take. So
now, if you only got a couple scripts at a time, did you know the arc of where the season was going, or did you figure that out as you were reading the script?
No, I don't think either of us knew the arc at all. If you had told me how my character's arc ended, or like where it was at the end of the season, even like halfway through, I would have never believed you. Actually, I had a conversation with Neil about halfway through where he told me what his plan was, and it was just shocking to me because I couldn't understand how we could get from where we were to there. But I think it actually turned out really well, and nothing felt forced. It was all just very natural and smooth feeling, which is amazing to me.
I love that you guys shoot on location, which I feel like doesn't always happen. Are there parts of the Mexican culture and cuisine that you guys really love and remember that sticks out to you?
I think my favorite part was just how different every place was. We shot in like 5 different cities in Mexico, and that's something I just never realized or wasn't aware of. It just, there's like something unique to each place, the food, the people, and the crew that we had was like, they were the best people in the world. And I think this is like, because we were on set all day, I don't feel like we didn't get to properly go eat out all the time, and especially during quarantine, we didn't get to like experience all the restaurants. But I'd have to say, any sort of sugar that I could get my hands on was better. Any sort of sweets, the candy is 100% better.
Mexico was was one of my favorite places that I've ever been, to be honest. It was really surprising to me just how different all of the cities were. I definitely want to go back when I have like more time to explore and be touristy, I guess. But I guess my favorite food would probably be anything with fish. Like ceviche was amazing, or tuna tacos. I really like spicy food, so I enjoyed how much spicier everything was. Pretty much everything, honestly.
Now, you guys were filming this when the pandemic broke out, and then I think you had to shut down production. What went through your head, as in if you could even finish it, and how did they pick production back up again to adhere to all of the guidelines?
I mean, initially, I remember the consensus of like the family. I remember we were all we have a group chat, and I remember we were all very sort of happy at first because we were like, okay, we didn't know what the pandemic was, and we're like, maybe we'll just shoot down for 2 weeks. We can all just relax because the show is so intense that we kind of all really wanted the break. Cut to 6 months in, and then we sort of trying to figure out. I mean, there definitely was some doubt at first that, okay, will we be able to go back? But we knew that Apple really, really liked the show, and it was already getting like good feedback from the episodes that had been cut. So thankfully, like, they were like, yes, of course, let's just wrap this up and make it better. But I mean, I have to say, I think doing those 8 months in quarantine and taking all those precautions just made it so much easier to, bring that over to set. It didn't feel weird or anything.
Right. Well, it's been great talking to both of you. I'm excited for people to watch the Mosquito Coast. Love the adventure that it goes on. I'm looking forward to season 2. I don't know if that spoils anything, but like, I'm looking forward to it.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, have a great day, both of you.
Bye.
Bye.